Hey guys, my name is Brian from Kingdom Hearts Cross Nation, and today we have so much that I have to cover today. I'm so behind on stuff. Like I just have so much to talk about. Oh Jesus Christ, I have a lot I have to do today. But just to start off, okay, because I'm pretty much going to be talking about a bunch of variety of things in this video. Some of the recent events since my last video that I never got to really talk about, so well, here I am talking about them. But just to start off, I want to mention to you guys that I've updated the Discord significantly, like heavily significantly. For those of you that are in my Discord, you've probably already seen a lot of the changes that have been happening already. But I've added a new rank system that's pretty fun, so that as you chat more in the server, you start ranking up, and then at certain ranks you unlock new roles, which unlock different portions of the server and stuff. So it's a fun little neat aspect to help enjoy the server more, as well as feel like you're actually like part of the server's community and stuff, which I think is pretty cool. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun seeing you guys actually use it too. I've added a bunch of new custom emojis to the server. I've added a party recruitment sections, Patreon sections. Well, those were already there, but like I isolated them and made them like special and stuff like that. I isolated my own stuff and the general stuff. And I've added just a bunch of stuff to it as well. So it's like, if you aren't part of my Discord already, go ahead and feel free to check it out. I have the link in the description below. But yeah, that's it for the Discord. I don't want to talk too much about that. I just wanted to at least mention it. But anyways, so we have some new stuff for this week. It's nothing too major. Most of it's VIP again, like usual. That's typically what the Sunday posts tend to be about. Is typically just about VIPs. We not very often do we get like special event notices on Sundays. It happens sometimes, but it's not very common. But in terms of VIP, we are getting the Toon Sora and Pals medal, in addition to the Master Xehanort EX medal as well for VIP this week. I'll be talking about the Toon Sora and Pals medal in a later video for meta analysis. I'm pretty much just spending today and tomorrow just like trying to crack down on all of these medal analysis articles and videos I have to make. Because I have so much to do. As well as like updating the Discord and stuff. I'm really starting to love Discord a lot lately. Like I never really understood why people use it, but I'm starting to understand it a little bit, and I'm starting to appreciate it. But yeah, we're also getting the ×2 gems quests for VIP as well. We got the weekly gem quest again, and this time we're also getting the boosters, like another set of boosters, upright boosters as an event, but also part of the Union Cross. Now I was kind of expecting these, because in the last upright booster event we didn't really get to it. We got like about 11% worth of booster, which I found kind of odd. I was like, that's fairly low. So I kind of saw this coming, that they're going to come out with more again, and like I figured, they did. But yeah, that's it for this week's VIP and new stuff. So the next thing I want to talk about is I want to go over the current banners that we have going on at the moment. Now, at the time of making this video, there are technically 2 banners up. We have the Kairi and Sora EX medal banner, as well as the Falling Price Deal banner, but that only has a day left, so I'm only going to briefly talk about it. But in terms of Kairi and Sora EX, again, I'll be having the medal analysis video sometime out this week, hopefully. But all the medal analysis stuff, I'm trying to just knock it out as much as I can this week as possible, so that way they're at least out there, even though some of them are kind of late, like the HD Axel EX and the Kairi and Sora EX one as well. But yeah, anyways, in terms of the banners themselves, let me just quickly go over those real quick. So whether or not you should pull from the falling price deal, here's the thing about that, okay? I actually looked into this real quick just to make sure I made like an actual educated decision when figuring out whether or not that was an actual banner to pull from. And I would say more or less it's a very good banner to pull from, okay? Because the the Kingdom Hearts 2 Leon, the Riku and Sora, and the Illustrated Neku, all 4 of those medals are really good medals. The only 2 medals that are like aren't great at all is the Orin and the tier 5 Axel EX medal that they have right there. Okay, the Orin's only really good for Proud Mode quests because he does fixed damage. Fixed damage is low-key broken for Proud Mode, just to let you know. So if you're struggling with Proud Mode, Orin might actually help you out. Fixed damage medals are great for maybe when you're doing one of those Proud Mode quests where you're using like a certain Keyblade that doesn't match his attribute, but because of the fact that he does fixed damage, it doesn't matter. You can slap him on the first slot or last slot or any slot, and he'll still do that same amount of damage, which just helps you out, especially if you're lacking specific types of medals of that attribute to fit that Keyblade. So fixed damage medals are really good for Proud Mode, but anywhere else in the game, they suck. Okay. And for the Axel EX, the tier 5 version, he's just no longer good anymore. His multiplier is nowhere near good enough compared to what we have now. He doesn't nearly provide as many buffs or debuffs compared to what we typically are seeing now anyways. So he's just nowhere near as good as what we need him to be anymore. He's like at this moment, like he's just one of those medals that's just like cool to have. It's like, oh hey, cool, I have this old Axel EX medal, and that's pretty much it. But in terms of the other 4, okay, the Riku and Sora are absolutely like fantastic and necessary for a competitive Fairy Star setup, as well as they're just straight up fantastically good to use on any other setups that have a slot 3 magic upright slot for Riku and a slot 5 speed upright slot for Sora as well. And like out of all these medals, those are the 2 medals by far you would want to get at all costs, okay? Because those medals right there will help you be competitive. Just straight up, at least as of right now. Those are like those 2 medals are some of the most common competitive medals you will see right now in like tons of most setups. In terms of the Kingdom Hearts 2 Leon, the Kingdom Hearts 2 Leon is really good, okay? Don't get me wrong. It's really good, and I will state off the back that it is currently, when using the pet slot, the best AoE medal that we currently have in the game, alright? It is currently the best one. However, okay, that does not mean that it's absolutely necessary in order, like, to have. And that's simply because of the fact that there are some medals in the game that do more damage, or have a higher multiplier, I should say, than the Leon medal. So if by chance you happen to have any of these medals, such as Valor Genie, Hercules B, Illustrated Donald B, Illustrated Goofy, Lingering Will, or Illustrated Aqua B, these are the medals currently existing in the game that can potentially or are easily able to have higher multipliers than the Leon medal for the pet slot. And I would just by far strictly recommend trying to use any of those medals if you have them over Leon. But if you don't have them, then Leon would probably be your next best choice in terms of that raw damage medal to have in your pet slot. Now, when it comes to the Sora and Kairi EX medal, okay, this is what I have to say about it. If you happen to have visited my Save for This tab on my website at k2xnation.com at any time whatsoever, you might have noticed that I don't have the Sora and Kairi EX medal there at all whatsoever. And there's multiple reasons for this. In case you aren't aware, on my website I have the Save for This tab which lets you know, out of the currently existing medals in JP that we as a community are aware of, I put up there as a list some of the medals that I believe are worth shooting for in terms of competitively. They're like absolutely like really good to have when it comes to competitively and such. And that anything that's not up there, there's a reason for why I should say like you don't really need to go for them and stuff. Like these are by far the medals to save for and to aim for. But in terms of Sora and Kairi EX, there's a main reason why, or there's like two main reasons why you don't need this medal, okay? Because here's the thing about the Sora and Kairi EX. There's basically one of two ways that you can use this medal. The first way is that you can use them in your like slot 2 or 3, depending on whether or not you have like extra attack on a Kyrie X or something. You could use them on your slot 3 in order to help, or one of your first 3 slots, in order to help buff up, you know, the rest of your medals with upright buffs, okay? Or you could have them in your 5th or 6th slot and use them as a primary damage medal at the end of your Keyblade. Let's go to the first one. The first one, if you're trying to use them as a buff medal for like uprights and stuff, if you happen to have Kyrie EX, okay? The only time this medal will probably ever be super beneficial as of right now in terms of buffs is on the Fenrir Keyblade, because the Fenrir is the only one that has like a power upright slot in the 3rd slot. Because chances are, if you have Kyrie EX, you're putting Kyrie EX and a copy medal to copy her in the first 2 slots, which means you need to put the Sora and Kyrie EX in the 3rd slot to max out your upright buffs for the rest of your Keyblade. And the Fenrir is the only competitive Keyblade that has a power upright slot for you to utilize. You could use a treasure trove if you really wanted to, but the treasure trove is just nowhere near as good as the Fenrir. So it's one of those things. Literally, Fenrir and treasure trove are the only Keyblades period that have a power upright slot in the 3rd slot. So that right there, just the fact that there's like a lack of usage that you could use it on properly, that right there is just like a downside to Sora and Kyrie EX right now. Now, unless they start releasing more Keyblades anytime soon that we could start using these type of medals on, like having different strategies on, because honestly, we haven't received any new Keyblades in quite a while. I personally would not mind start seeing dual attribute reverse Keyblades. So you know how we have like the Olympia and Divine Rose and stuff, who are like, they're supposed to be the dual attribute Keyblades. I would like to see like full-on reverse versions of those, not just like 2 slots that are reversed, but like full-on reverse. You know, like a mix of Dark Gnaw missing Ache type of thing. That, I think that would be pretty cool, and it would start opening some doors as to like some type of strategies we could use and such. But yeah, for the second reason why she's not nearly as good, if you're trying to use the Sora and Kyrie EX medal as a damage medal, the multiplier is really good. Okay. So don't get me wrong about that. It is by far going to be one of the best damage medals in the game in terms of single target. However, if you happen to have the Hercules B, Valor Genie, Illustrated Donald B, or Illustrated Goofy B, then in that case, like, it's not going to help you out too much, because those 4 medals just do more damage as of right now than Sora and Kyrie EX. However, if you don't have any of those 4, Sora and Kyrie EX will be your strongest single target medal, period. Because she does have a 17.46 max multiplier that you can utilize. As of right now, that is the 5th strongest alternative total max multiplier in the game. And the whole reason why you would have it as a last Keyblade that you would use, typically I've started getting into the habit in a lot of my setups where I'm starting to use a lot of single target and random target medals in my last slot or 2 of my Keyblades a lot more often now, solely because of the fact, typically by the time you reach your 5th or 6th medal in your Keyblade setups by now, assuming you have like medals like Kyrie EX or Shioni EX even, or even a Scrooge McDuck, you would have normally annihilated most of your enemies by now, and the only enemies that will be remaining left are the ones that have like a lot more HP compared to the other ones. So by the time you get to the end of your Keyblade setup, there'll only be like 1 enemy left, and that's the one with the really high HP that was amongst the group that you're fighting. Okay, and that's part of the strategy that you can use when it comes to using these type of medals that do increased damage against 1 opponent compared to a group, is to try and use them in the last slots. But yeah, anyways, if you happen to have any of those 4 medals that I mentioned, I would simply recommend using those instead. Otherwise, Sora and Kyrie EX is a medal that you can use in that instance. Okay, so now that I finished talking about the current banners that we have going on at the moment, this is what I want to talk about, okay? So just to remind you guys, just like a little bit more than a week ago, we had a large update to the game where they removed some of the banners from the shop. They removed some of like that, like the utilities banner, all target banner, single target banner, and stuff like that. They removed those banners, and they say they were going to replace them somewhere mid-February. All right. So I'm pretty much expecting those new banners to pop up sometime this week. And I'm honestly looking forward to them, because they could be anything for all we know. But I'm really looking forward to it. Honestly, I would really appreciate it if they could bring back some of those like exclusive medals, such as like Sums, Final Fantasy medals. They might even they even just had a new collaboration event with the Final Fantasy Record Keeper game as well that's going on with Kingdom Hearts Union Cross. I think it would be pretty cool if sometime this week we also get a new like collaboration medal set, such as like, you know, just like the Final Fantasy and Sums, sometime this week as well. That could easily be a thing too. Honestly, I think it would be really cool if we could also have some of the like Skills the Thrills banners, just permanently have them, because honestly, I don't know about you guys, but sometimes I'll get to the point where I'm just constantly running out of skills because they don't pop up often enough, and we're getting released more medals than we have skills. So it's just like, well, what am I supposed to do? Especially with all these high damage medals that are coming out lately that need like 7 or 4 and 5 gauges in order to use. I'm like, these are a lot of gauges to use. Like, I would love a cost reduction skill to be able to use in that. Even just a attack boost 3 max in gauge 1. Like a basic one like that. It doesn't even have to be like attack boost 5 max. Just at least like a cost reduction skill in general. Like, I would just love a banner that can just continuously give me those whenever I happen to need it and stuff like that. Like, to me, that would be a lot more useful to have at the moment. That's just something interesting and worth noting, and something to keep in mind for to look out for the rest of this week as they start releasing updates and such. So the next thing I need to cover on my schedule is the new Kingdom Hearts 3 Mickey EX medal that we just received. Now, if you haven't logged into the game in a while, I would highly recommend doing so, because of the fact that during D23, after the release of the Kingdom Hearts 3 trailers that we got, including the like half of the release of the new Kingdom Hearts 3 theme song that we got, made by Utada Hikaru, I would highly recommend logging in, because we got a new EX medal called Kingdom Hearts 3 Mickey EX. Whether or not it's good or bad or not and whatnot, I'll cover in a later video in its own medal analysis video and article. But as of right now, it's a free for at the very least, which is pretty cool. Like, not gonna lie, some of us were pretty upset at first and kind of questionable, because they only announced that it was coming out, but it was announced in the Japanese version, so it just left us global players like wondering, like, are we gonna get it too? I mean, because we got, like, just in the last time we got released, we got the Kingdom Hearts 3 Sora EX medal for both versions of the game. So it only made sense to me that we would also get this medal for both versions of the game, and we did. Okay, we ended up getting a day later, but we still got it, which was good. Now, this also begs the question that in JP, they actually released a new VIP deal for JP, where as part of the JP VIP deal, you can get 3 copies of the Kingdom Hearts 3 Mickey EX medal to be able to help guilt your free copy and such. Because of this, it begs the question of whether or not we may see something like this as well. Honestly, I wouldn't be too surprised if we end up getting the same exact thing that we did last time with the Kingdom Hearts 3 Sora EX medal, where it's locked behind a 7-week paywall again, or even 6-week paywall. Just, I honestly would not be surprised. Like, it would hurt my soul a little bit if they did, but like, I wouldn't be surprised either, because like, that's kind of what they do at this point, and like, there's nothing we can do about it. So last thing on my list before we end this video for today, I know it's kind of a long video. Like I mentioned before, I had so much I had to cover today. But during D23, okay, they released so much content, especially for Kingdom Hearts 3. In terms of D23 updates for Kingdom Hearts New Cross, they actually released quite a lot of content and announcements as to the future of the game. So I'm just going to kind of go through them real quick. So one of the things that they announced about the game for the future is the fact that they are planning to release a new PvP mode, or player versus player, in the game. And it's supposed to work similar to Coliseum, but it's not going to be in real time. Now, I don't know about you guys, And I know I haven't really talked about it too much on the channel, but at least among my friends and family members and stuff like that, I had been hardcore waiting for a PvP mode for the longest time for this game. Because honestly, it's not that hard. And I kind of expected it to be similar to Coliseum anyways. I don't know if any of you guys have played Brave Frontier before, but I used to be a hardcore player of Brave Frontier for a while before I realized I needed to quit before I go broke and live on the streets. Because that game was way more addicting and definitely would grab you by the balls if you didn't know what you were doing. Or didn't know how to do self-control. But it was, oh my god, the amount of content in the game was ridiculous. But in terms of PvP, I really wanted a version of PvP in Union Cross that was similar to that of like Brave Frontier and such. Because honestly, it would be perfect. We have like, you know, Keyblade War and Union Wars and stuff like that are part of the lore, so it only makes sense that we can fight each other. On top of it would just be a great new way to be able to help pass the time and such in the game, because as of right now, like, I mean, legitimately there's no real content going on at the moment. Like, there's really nothing to do. I'm sitting here at home and I really want to play my game, but I can't because there's nothing for me to do. I can do Coliseum, but I'm already in like the top 300 or 400 of Coliseum, and it's like, alright, what am I supposed to do? I beat everything else. So it's just one of those things. I feel like it'd just be a great way to just help add to something, to help be able to give us something new to do. Yeah, it'll be another new competitive mode for us to use as well. One of the cool things that I like about it, assuming they do it in the type of way that I'm thinking of, is that it will help be able to introduce new ways to play the game. And what I mean by that is that you can start using some other strategies now at this point when it comes to PvP compared to what you would usually do against Heartless. Because the way I have in mind in terms of PvP is that like, well, you're going to be attacking other players, but other players are also going to be attacking you in some way, shape, or form. So what that means that you can start using kind of like some turtling strategies in your setups in order to try to help like outmaneuver your opponents and stuff like that. And in this aspect, I'm already hardcore. I'm calling it right now, but I bet you that medals like Chicken Little and HD Zexin are gonna be fucking OP when it comes to PvP mode. Like, they're just gonna be absolutely ridiculous. Like, you're gonna be so annoyed while fighting them. I can already see it. And I just can't wait to see what type of setups and such people end up trying to use when it comes to PvP. But anyways, I'm really excited to hear about that, and I can't wait to see what they do. So anyways, in terms of the other info that they released as part of D23, they also announced that they are introducing something called Project X-Trace, which is going to be implemented with Kingdom Hearts 3 that will help you be able to tie your Kingdom Hearts 3 game to your Kingdom Hearts Union Cross account if you happen to have the game and play the game. And in doing so, it should be able to do something along the lines of like unlocking something special or doing something special in the Kingdom Hearts 3 game. I think this is really cool. It definitely adds a new layer to the game and the lore as well, because it definitely makes you want to start playing Kingdom Hearts Union Cross more often. It also means that newer players who are going to be getting into Kingdom Hearts 3 are more likely to start playing Union Cross as well, and that's just pretty cool in my opinion. It just means it's a little bit of like subtle promotion for the game, which I think is pretty cool. One thing that I also think would be pretty cool and interesting that for them to do if they end up doing it this way is the same way that it'll unlock or do something special in the actual console game for Kingdom Hearts 3. It would be cool if it also does the same thing around too, where whenever a new major console release game for Kingdom Hearts comes out, it also unlocks something special for your mobile game as well. I think that would be pretty cool. Whether or not they do something like this, I don't know, but we'll see. I think it's pretty cool. It's a nice idea in my opinion. Alright, so another thing that they also mentioned and talked about was the fact that, quote unquote, their scenarios will rapidly develop. Okay, now what do they mean by this? I'm not too sure I don't know exactly what they mean when they say the word scenarios or scenarios, whichever way you say it. To me, like, does that mean the story? Does that mean the story is going to be rapidly developed? Or does that mean the content's going to be rapidly developing? Or does that mean both? I don't know. It's a little vague. But at the very least, they did announce that the worlds in Union Cross will start to be completely new from now on. And that up to this point, we've been visiting some existing worlds from previous games, but from now on, we will be visiting brand new worlds that we have never been to. To me, it's like, finally, it's about time, because this game's been out for about 2 years about now yet, and we haven't really visited any new worlds, so it's like, the only really like quote-unquote new world is like that beach world or whatever. So it's at the very least, it's nice to hear that, and I'm very happy about that. But anyways, yeah, that's it for today, guys. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and subscribe and hit that bell button. It's the best way to know when I upload a new video. I'll be trying to pump out those articles and videos out for you guys this week as much as I can. And again, guys, just to remind you, feel free to join me here on Discord. I've made tons of updates to it. It's starting to become really fun and enjoyable, and I'm personally enjoying it myself as well, just being able to talk with you guys directly. As well as the fact that if you enjoy what I do and would like to help support me, please go ahead and feel free to check out my Patreon. It's the best way to show that you directly want to help support me and such like that, and it allows me to be able to do new stuff for you guys that I really have planned, but I can't because I don't have the financial resources. But other than that, that's it for today, guys. My name is Brian from Kingdom Hearts Across Nation, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.